Hello, hi, welcome to the session. Myself, Dr. P. Shivaranjani, Head, Assistant Professor, Department of CT, handling web technology for third BSc student. So today we'll discuss about advanced HTML tags. So in that advanced HTML tag, we are going to describe three things. One is table creations, form creations, and your frame creations. So first, we'll see about your table creations. So in order to create a web page with table format that is in the form of rows and columns, then you will make use of this table tag for creation of tables in your web pages. So the table tag consists of other elements such as tr, th, td. So tr refers to table row, th refers to table header, and td refers to table cell or table data. So the table here also includes many things such as caption, column group, t-head, that is your table heading, table footer can also be included, and you can also have table body. So these are some of the elements you can include in your HTML tables. So these are some of the browser which has been supported the concept of your HTML, that is your table concept. Some browsers are Google Chrome, Mozilla Firefox, Opera. So these are some of the browser which supports your table tag of your HTML web page. So the next one is some of the more tags, some of the examples of your table creation. So for that you have to use your table tag. It should start with the table, and then you have a table row. So for that you have to use because you're creating 3 rows and with the 2 columns. So here for 3 rows and 3 columns, the first one column is called as an heading. Remaining 2 are called as a data cell or cell data or table cell or table data. So for that I have used 3 rows. So in the first row is named as a table heading. So here in the example you can see that the month is the month and saving or the heading for the particular table, and then in second row I have created a 2 table cell. One is called as January and another one is the amount for the particular saving as $100, and in third row I have created a month called as February and saving as $50. So this is the table creation we have given over there. And so this, when you are saving the particular file in your you type the particular coding in your notepad, and if you have saved the particular document in .html file format, then you can able to you can open any one of the browser. Either you can use Google Chrome or your Mozilla Firefox or some other browser, and you can open the particular file that is if you have named the particular file as table, then you can open the particular file and you can see the particular output on the web page. That is on the HTML table will be created on the particular browser. The next one is there is also something called as you can also add a border for the particular figure, border for the particular figure. So from that particular figure you can in the 3 figures you can see the differences. The main difference in the 3 figure is the border, right? The first figure is without border, and the second one have the border, and third one with the border with the effect, right? So for that the coding is as such. So here in the coding you have to use the table tag. So without any border, then you have to use simply table. That's enough. But if you need a border with the cell, so I have given the second example as border equal to 1, and third example I have given border as 10. So we're getting the corresponding output with the borders of different format. So the next one is about the next thing we are going to describe is frames. So frame is nothing but one which will help you to create a particular area in your HTML file where you can move to another web page in order to display the particular content. So here this frame tag has been used within the frame set, and it will divide your web page into multiple sections or a frame, and each frames can contain a different web pages. So you can use this. This HTML frame does not been supported by HTML file, but in order to get this frame concept in your HTML file, then you can use iframes or divide with the CSS in order to achieve the effect of your HTML documents. So the next one is the syntax of the particular HTML page. So that is your frame set. So here you have to describe the frame src is equal to URL. Then you have to specify the following specification. That is, you have to define a starting tag and ending tag. So here the starting tag is required and the ending tag is not required. Either it can be described or it cannot be described. It can also be described without the tag, and you can also use the frames. So here this example is showing the examples for creating a frame. So you can create two different types of frame. One is called as a vertical frame and another one is a horizontal frame. So here if you're creating a frame with your vertical frame, it means that for it not to represent your column, you'll make use of this vertical representation. So here in the HTML head, I have given a title of the particular web page as a frame tag, and I have set the particular heading. After that, I have set the frame set. That is, I am defined a column. So it means that it is a vertical. So I have splitted the 100% of the window into three parts. That is 25% for first frame and 50% for second frame and 25% for third frame. So correspondingly, I have described a link or a separate HTML file or a HTML text document to open the particular frame set. So when you execute the particular program, so in the first frame set, I have just given the body color of the particular frame as red, and second frame, the body color is just, I have given it as yellow, and the third frame set, I have given the body color as blue, and I have given the paragraph in the frame as well. So when you're executing the particular code, you will get the corresponding output. So this will help you to create a vertical frame set in your web pages. So the next one is to create an horizontal frame set. That is, horizontal refers to a row. So here the only thing you have to do is inside your frame set, you have to mention a word called as rows is equal to. Then you can split up the windows. Now in this example, I have splitted the width of the particular window 100% into three parts. That is, one is 30 and another one is 40 and another one is 30. So the 100% has been splitted up into three parts. And similarly, I've given the first frame as a frame 1 as named as top, and second frame as main, and third frame as bottom. And corresponding page has been described. So the next one is the corresponding code also I have given in the frame 1, frame 2 and frame 3. I have just given the color of the frame 1 as brown, and I have given the heading as I am in frame 1. And second frame, that is your second frame set, I am given the background as BBBB. It means that hexadecimal. You can also refer the particular background color by using your hexadecimal code also. And I've given a paragraph as I'm in frame 2. And in third example, I've given the background color of the particular frame as blue. And I have given the paragraph as well as heading as I'm in frame 3. So when you're executing the particular program, you'll have an horizontal frame set like this. Okay. So vertical frame set like this. So the next one is about creation of forms. So forms is nothing but a HTML form is an area of the document. So that allows the user to enter the information into fields. So here by using your HTML forms, you can able to collect the user inputs, and the user inputs is often sent to the server for processing. Okay. So now the basic two component of your web page in the form is, it includes the shell and the script. The shell is nothing but your part of your part the user will fill out, and the script is nothing but the process the information. The HTML tags can be used to create the form shells. Using your HTML, you can create text box, radio buttons, checkbox, drop-down menus, and many more things can be created. So we are going to see one by one. So this is an example for the form set. So now you can see that you have created a form with a combination of your text box, drop down menus, radio buttons, checkbox and text area, and two button called as reset button and submit button. So now we are going to see how to create this particular text box, text area, drop down menus, radio buttons and your buttons in the following syntax. So here the form shell has three important parts. The first one is called as a form tag, so which includes the address of the script, so which will process the form, and then it includes the form elements, so it's just like a text box and radio button. So the next one is your submit button, which triggers the script to send the entire information to the server. So the next one is how to create a shell. So to create a form shell, you have to use a form method equal to post, and I'm giving the action, that is script underscore URL. So where the script underscore URL is the address of the script, and the next step is you have to create a form elements. Then you have to close with the form tag, that is form should be closed with the closing tag. So now we are going to create, first thing in the form is text box. So to create a text box, you have to type input equal to text. It means that you're going to you are going to create a text box, and the name of the text is given as text box's name, and the value is value, and the size is equal to n, and maximum length equal to n. So now this name, value, size, maximum length, these are all option. So if you need, you can give it, otherwise you can leave it out. Okay. So the next one, we'll see the examples of the text box which has been given. So now I have created two text box. One is first name, and another one is your last name. So here the input type equal to text, the name equal to first name, the value equal to first name. So the name of the particular text box is first name, and I have assigned the name of the value, that is the content to be displayed on the text is first name, and the size of the text is that is the text box should be 20. And then I'm giving it 2 line break. After that, I'm creating another text box called as last name. The name of the text is last name, and the value is also given as last name, and the size of the particular text box is 20, and I'm given a 2 line break. So then if you want to create a larger text area, that is if you want to get multiple copies or multiple lines of input from the user, then you can use this text area type. So here you can create the particular text area type by using a keyword called as text area, and the name equal to the name of the particular text area, and the number of rows and number of columns, you have to mention that. So that has been mentioned by rows is equal to n1 and column is equal to n2. So n1 and n2 n1 refers to rows and n2 refers to column, and the content should be wap. Okay, it should be wap, and the default it should be closed with the text area. So here the wap attributes causes the cursor to move automatically to the next line as the user types. So this is an example for creating your text area. So in the particular text area, name equal to, I've given the name of the particular text as command, the row equal to 10 and the column equal to 50. So you can enter 50 data and the column is 50. The column is 50 and the row is 10. So next one is creating a radio button. So in order to create a radio button, you have to give the syntax as, or you have to type it as input type equal to radio, name equal to you have given the name for the particular radio as name and the value as data, and you're just giving the label. So here the data is nothing but the text will be sent to the server, and if the button is clicked, and the label is the text that identifies the button to the user. So this example will explain how does this radio box has been created with the following syntax. So now you can see that inside the title, I have given the name of the particular title of the web page as frame 2, and I've given the heading inside that particular, and I have closed the heading, and then inside the body I have given the background color of the body as blue, and I have given the size as bold, and I'm getting the input type as radio, and the size name equal to size and the value equal to large. So now the content will be displayed as large. in the radio button, and the next radio button you're going to create is medium, and the next radio button you're going to create is small. So all the type is a radio button. And I'm closing the body and I'm ending the coding. Just save the particular file as the name.html. Then you can open your browser, any one browser, and you can execute open the particular file, so that the particular radio button will be appear on your web page. So next thing is you're going to create a checkbox. So for that you have to type input type equal to checkbox, name equal to name, and the value equal to value, and the corresponding label. So if you give a group of radio buttons or a checkbox the same name, the user will only be able to select one button or a box at a time, right? So this is an example. Will explain the concept of your checkbox. So here the body of the web page should be a gold, and I have described the color as a bold, and I'm getting it. I'm going to create a three checkbox named as red, navy, and black, and I'm closing the particular body. So the next I'm going to create is a drop-down menus. So by using you can type a select name equal to name and size is equal to n multiple. So then you can also type the optional values and then followed by name. In the case of size attributes, it will specify the height of the menu in the line, and multiple will allow the user to select more than one menu options. So this is the sample example will explain the option of your drop-down menus. So I'm just giving the background color of the particular web page as pink, and I've given to display a content as which is the favorite fruit. So from that particular list, I'm going to list out some of the favorite fruits such as mango, banana, guava, papaya, and pineapple. Then from that particular list, you can select any one. So that is what I have shown in the particular diagram as an output. So the next one is you are going to create a submit button. In order to create a submit button, you have to type input type equal to submit. If you would like to like the button to say something other than submit, you can use the value attributes. For example, input type equal to submit, value equal to buy now. So this means that you have given the name of the particular that is the value to be displayed on the particular button as buy now option. So this will display the button with the name called as buy now. So this is the code which will help you to create a button option. So I have created I start with an HTML, and inside the body I have created a heading. So button form attributes, and I'm given the form action is equal to action underscore page.php, method equal to get, and ID equal to forms. And I'm just creating a label named as first name, and the second is you're getting an input for the particular by the help of your particular text. That is, you're creating a text box named as F name, and another text box I have created named as last name, and I'm just getting that particular input F name and last name. That is your first name and last name, and I'm just closing the particular button. So form. After that, I'm just displaying a paragraph called as the button below is outside the form element, but still part of the form. So you are typing a button called as button type equal to submit, form equal to name form, and value equal to submit. So now the button will be created with a name called as submit, and I'm just closing it. So when you execute the particular program, this will be the sample output of the particular program. So that's it. If you have any queries, you can clarify in your class section. Thank you all. Thank you for your patient listening. Thank you all. Hello, hi.